What is up? Thank you for coming to my channel, Prison POV. Shout out to the joiners, shout out to the point of view crew, and shout out to the homeboy Drew for this shirt. I love it, homeboy. I appreciate the gift. Thank you very much. Nothing but the utmost love and respect to you and yours. Full blast. Now this video right here is Did I Disrespect the Nortenos? Continuing the theme I developed a month or so ago. The last video being, did I disrespect the blacks? Right here, did I disrespect the Nortenos? And I'm not going to beat around the bush anymore. I'm not going to tiptoe around it. Let's just kick it off. Trip on this. I'm at Soledad North Yard Level 3. But I'm in a Level 2 dorm called Toro Dorm, South Yard, homeboy, Soledad. There's no blacks in the dorm because the Woods, the whites, and the blacks already got in a big riot. They took all the blacks out. And so there's only Woods, Southsiders, Nortenos, Paisas, and others. And since they removed a whole race, the blacks, and they start filling in their bunks with other races, Southsiders, Nortenos, Woods, we were all deep at that point in that dorm. Everybody was deep. Everybody was booted and suited and on deck and ready to go. I ended up getting a kite from the hole, telling me to end their career and to remove someone from Bakersfield who was acting straight out of line. In fact, this person happened to hold the keys for the white boys in Toro Dorm. He was from Kern County, and he was all bad, homeboy. He had a green light on him. I got a kite from the hole saying to remove this fool. And it was requested that a weapon was used, because that's how serious of an offense he committed. As I just mentioned, the Woods and the blacks had already gotten to a big riot, so there wasn't a whole lot of bangers left around. They'd been used, they'd been lost in the riot, and we only had one. The white boys had one banger in that dorm. So the dudes from LA, who were going to take control of the dorm after I removed my homeboy from Kern County, which is kind of like a sad state of affairs. I could touch on that later. I don't like seeing Kern County have control of a dorm, then relinquish it to the LA car, but that's what happened. And we can talk about why later. LA car advised me, though, I can't use the one banger. Go ahead and use a sock and a lock on this guy to get rid of him. Now, every time, or it should be every time, a weapon is used in an assault in prison, there are steps. You should plan it out. You shouldn't just run into it like a madman, all crazy, with no thoughts given to like what's happening. You should have a plan of attack. You should use the weapon, and then when you're done with the weapon, hand it off to somebody for them to get rid of it. The disposal of the weapon is priority after the attack takes place. Like, that should be your number one thought. Okay, the hit has been accomplished. I need to get rid of this. Because if CDCR, if the officials, the COs, the cops can't find a weapon, they can't charge you for assault with a weapon. Which is crazy if you think about it. Even if the dude has puncture holes and you're the only one near him, or you're actually caught beating on him, if you don't have a knife in your possession, they can't catch you, can't get you for assault with a weapon because you don't have a weapon. Even though there are weapon injuries. But hey, their rules are not mine. I like it because it gives us a loophole to be able to get out of it, homeboy. So, but I didn't really think that far ahead. I should have. I didn't think after I rush this dude and whip him with the sock and lock, there needs to be somebody close by for me to hand it off to. I didn't think of that. But getting rid of the weapon is paramount. Like another story I mentioned, for instance, where this Norteño jumped off the second tier. He went into the showers where there were 8 to 10 white boys showering. And this one Norteño by himself went in there and started sticking him with a big old bone crusher he had. Now, after he'd stuck a few of the Woods, after he'd got his money, he thought to himself, and rightfully so, I need to get rid of this piece. He started running away with it. He had a cell in mind that he wanted to get to and throw the bone crusher under the cell door to one of his homeboys so they can dispose of it, break it in half, and flush it. Because the showers is right there among the cells. So he already knew as soon as he went there and got his poke on, he was going to have to leave and quickly get rid of the piece, get over to this cell and dump it. His problem was, though, after he got his poke on and he started running away to get rid of the piece, the white boys start chasing him. And he can't defend himself and dispose of the piece at one time. So actually, they got his ass at the end of the day. They end up tackling him right in front of that cell he was aiming for. He did get rid of the piece, but bro, they bombed on him. Bunch of naked white boys tackled him and straight got busy. But he got his money. I can't take nothing from him for that move. All that, I say all that to say this, you got to get rid of the weapon. But I didn't think, hey man, I got to pass it off. I just think, go get this fool. So I rushed him. I'm bombing on him with the sock and the lock. And all of a sudden the alarm goes off. Blue, 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 blue. Cop comes rushing at me. And I just think to throw it, to get rid of it. So I give it a couple wind-ups like this, a sock and the lock. Boom, let it fly. That thing went 20 yards. That thing went all the way across the dorm. And I saw that boom, just hit this Nordano right in the middle of his chest. Dead center, bro. Just boom. A wild slung sock in the lock. Bro, you know it had to hurt. Straight up. Probably had a bruise this big for a couple weeks afterwards. Nailed him. I didn't do it intentionally. I wasn't happy to see that I did do that. I felt kind of bad, but he wasn't tripping. He immediately dismantled it, undid the sock, took the lock out, hung his sock up somewhere, or that sock up, and got rid of he dismantled it and disposed of it, having my back, even though he just got straight mollywalked with it. And I seen the look on his face, the wince, like, ah! Dude, it nailed him, homie. I couldn't hit him any better if I was aiming for him. So, hey, my apologies. My bad. I definitely didn't mean to just freaking nail that folio in the middle of his chest with a out of control sock and a lock. No disrespect intended. Now trip on this. I'm in Soledad again. This time in Whitney, 3rd tier in the cells. We just had a big riot. The Woods had a big riot with Nortenos. They actually murked a white dude. Bro, over there on A side in the cells, a Norteño murked, unalived a white dude. Then on A yard in Fremont dorm, it kicked off. The Woods rushed Norteños, and then on B yard in Toro dorm, Norteños rushed the Woods. There already been 3 melees, 3 riots, bro. And we were on lockdown, and we stayed on lockdown for a year behind that. However, at this time, me and my cellie Trouble, a skinhead from Inland Empire, were on their 3rd tier. And bro, it's almost unfair how the cells were arranged. Keep in mind, we're at war with the Norteños. It is on a cracking between us and them. They way outnumber us. On the 3rd tier, to our right was a white dude way down there, about 5 cells away. And those 5 cells were Norteño cells. So it's our cell, and to the right, 5 Norteño cells and a white boy cell. To my left, to my immediate left, was a Southsider from Colonial Chiques. And then in between that Southsider and the next white dude, Chris in Orange County, he was way down there. And there's probably 10 Norteño cells in between the Southsider from Colonial Chiques and the next white dude on the other side of us, Chris in Orange County. Dude, surrounded by Norteños. And then directly across from us, all that I can see, from Rooter to Tudor, from all the way right to all the way left, all Norteño cells. And Trouble and I were thinking, bro, if they just open the doors, if they just decide to take us off lockdown and open the doors one morning for breakfast, we're done. We're done, because I just, my cellie and I, Trouble, and then those 2 white dudes down there, and then Chris and his cellie, 6 of us, just surrounded by Norteños. There was just so many, bro. It was almost unfair. Come on, make it even, Steven. It ain't right. But afterwards, I realized what they do. They don't just open the cells, let everybody out at once. No, what they do is they let 50-year-olds and over out first, the old men. And then at the 50-year-olds program, they let the 40-year-olds out. And at the 40-year-olds program, 30, 20, so on and so forth. So Trouble and I always heard the Norteños making weapons. We always heard, homie, grinding of metal and just rubbing on the floor and just trying to sharpen it up, and then 24/7 those dudes were at it. Straight busy with the weapon stock and the production of weapons, bro. And they're always on their doors keeping point. They're always looking and watching, and they're always making weapons. And Trouble and I were like, snarf, snarf, we're completely surrounded. They will also do a lot of fishing. So Trouble and I decided, hey man, if they start fishing weapons back and forth, filetos. I mean, if this Norteño to our right fishes with a Norteño to our left, and we see them drag that fishing line back, and it's got what we deem to be a weapon, but our opinion, from our vantage point, if we're looking at what we think is a weapon, we're going to steal their line, bro. And we made a little hook to reach out there under our cell door to grab that line and pull it in. Because, bro, they're not going to be passing weapons back and forth. We'll snatch them up. One day, though, they're fishing, and we're watching, and we're looking to see if there's going to be any weapons passed back and forth. And we don't see weapons, but we see a pretty big knot of coffee. Coffee, homeboy, at least a half jar of some Folgers in a plastic lunch bag being pulled across with the fishing line. And I looked at my silly trouble. I was like, should I do it? He started laughing. Go, do it, bro. I put our little hook out there and pulled the line in. Stole their coffee. What? Straight out thief on mine, homeboy. Just straight out of line. Hey, I'll admit it. But that's one of the worst things you could be in prison or jail, is a thief. But wait a minute now, is it? No, the main thing you can't be, the worst thing you could be in jail or prison, is a sneak thief. Someone's going to sneak in your cell and steal on the down low. Someone's going to take something out of your back pocket when you ain't looking, or out of your laundry bag, or out of your hygiene bag, or just when you set something down sneaky and no one can find it, it's because you took it. That's out of line. But hey, right here on Front Street, right in front of God and everybody, steal it in front of your face, why the hell not? You know who took it. What are you going to do? Kick off a riot? We're going to riot anyway. We're already at war. It can't get any worse. Bro, take your coffee. It's our coffee now. You're already making weapons to freaking fill us full of holes anyway. How much worse can it get? But what's crazy, though, when I took it, I expected them to go hog wild. I expected them to start banging on the door because they saw it. They're always keeping point. They're always looking. They saw me take it. They saw us pull the line in and cut the lines on both ends and have their coffee. There was no kites. There was nothing else. Just that coffee. I expected them to bang on the door, to yell, say, we're going to get you, Wood. Fuck you, Wood. We're getting you. I expected to do all that. They did none of it. They didn't make a peep. They didn't say a word. They didn't even make a dirty face. They didn't even make an ugly looking face and go. They didn't even mad dog. They didn't. Nothing, bro. Took their coffee and they didn't say a peep. Hey, you know what? That made me more nervous. I wish they would have let off all the bells and whistles. I wish they would have kicked the doors and yelled and verbally attacked and verbally abused, because then I would know what I had coming, bro. I was like, oh, they're mad, you know. But them saying nothing when he stole their coffee tripped me out. Like, gulp. I made a nervous dog is on the cracking. But we ended up coming off lockdown and they never said nothing. Trouble and I did end up moving to the other side. I've told the story before, because two white dudes, a skinhead from San Diego and a skinhead from Inland Empire, got their cell raided and got caught with some filetos. They took them both to the hole. On their way to the hole, they said, hey, we have weapon stock in that cell the cops didn't find. Send two white boys in there to get it before another race goes in there and has access to those pieces. So they had me in trouble, moved out of that cell into this cell. We got the pieces. So, but then when we came off lockdown, they knew, you can't forget this face. We might have not been in that cell no more, but they seen us around. I seen them around. They never brought up the coffee. On the flip side, though, when I was at Corcoran, 3B, the Nortenos were on lockdown because they got in a riot with the Southerners. North and South got in a big riot. Corcoran 3B, homeboy, they're slammed. Our neighbors were Nortenos. The whites got on a week-long lockdown because someone dropped a kite, said the woods had a bunch of filetos, homie. Say locked us down to do all these cell searches. We ran out of coffee and I shot a kite to the Nortenos next door. Hey, you got a shot of coffee you can spare? They shot us a whole bag. And then the woods seen, homeboy, they see everything. Seen us pull that coffee in. They're like, what's up? What's up with you getting the coffee from the Nortenos? Stop hating. We're thirsty. They always have something to say about everything. Now trip on this, though. On to the next story. Next, we're going to flip it a little bit. Because this is not, did I disrespect the Nortenos? This one is, did the Nortenos disrespect me? Bro, this used to mess with my head so much. I used to always think about this and trip on it and how this whole situation went down. In fact, I believe I brought it up before. Homeboy, it's living rent-free in my head. Trip on this. Back at Toro Dorm. Same time period when I got the dude, the sock and the lock. No blacks. Just everybody else. They took him out due to the riot. Gang of Nortenos in there. Nortenos and Woods already having some problems, already bumping head. There's some tension. Now, there's a thing they do in prison where if you're on the yard and you're going to go bust a leak like this, you're going to have a couple homeboys like this with your back so that no one can rush up on you. If you're in prison and there's something you have to do and your back is to the yard, your back is to everything, there might be someone standing behind you like this so no one can creep on you. Someone's going to always have your back. Well, in that Toro dorm, there was a little cutout in between A side and B side. You got B side, A side. And in between, there's, like I said, there's a little cutout. And you go in there and there's a water fountain. You can get cold or hot water. That's where everyone goes to get their coffee. It's where everyone goes to get their soups. Now I'm playing a game of pinochle. Playing pinochle. And in between hands, and it's a real, homeboy, it's a real off-the-hook game of pinochle. We are being, I cannot think of any fascinating adjectives at the moment, but homie, we are being not loud to a disrespectful point, but we're being boisterous, and we're just talking smack, and we're enjoying ourselves playing pinochle. So in between hands, though, I'm like, I'm going to go make some coffee. And I grab my cup, go make coffee. They're like, yeah, go run. You better run. What are you going to do? Go get your cheat sheet. You know, do you want to go write a letter home and tell them how bad you're getting your ass kicked on the pinochle table? Just talking smack. And I'm looking over my shoulder like, yeah, talking smack back. The same exact scenario my first term when I got the assault on the cop. That was playing pinochle. And I was, same thing. I went to go walk away. Actually, no, I went to go have dinner. I wasn't going to have dinner. I was going to stay and play pinochle. But I was like, no, I'm going to have dinner. And they're talking smack. Yeah, go eat. You need it. Bring a lunch back with you. You're getting your ass whipped on this table. And I'm like, I'll be right back after dinner. And I'm talking smack. And I go to slam the door. And I didn't know the cop got in between the door and the door frame to say, hey, anyone else want to go? Last 10. So the cop's letting people out. I walk out. Then he goes to say, anyone else? And I slam the door. Not looking, because I'm looking at the people I was playing cards with and talking smack. Hit the cop of the door. Assault on a CO. End up dropping it to horseplay. So, bro, I got priors, homeboy, of just looking over my shoulder and talking and doing it moving, which is not a good thing in prison. You should always be more aware. Shame on me. But I'm looking over my shoulder, talking smack, and then I go into that little cutout area. Well, like I said, when people bust a leak like this, there's going to be people behind them. But in that cutout area, at the water faucet, the Nortenos would take 2 people in there with them to have their back and post up as guards. The Southerners, the Woods, the others, the Pisces, they take nobody. I wasn't going to take anybody in there with me in that little cutout, that blind spot, that room, if you will, to go to that water faucet to get hot water. I was going to take no one. The Nortenos will take 2 people. So that way, when they're getting water, there's 2 people keeping post. You can't creep on them. But I'm over my shoulder talking smack. I'm going to get this coffee and come back. And I, boom, bump into a Norteño. One of the dudes keeping point. I wasn't even paying attention where I was going. Now, I could have bumped right up, boom, chest to chest. But he put his arm up to where I bumped into his arm. And not only did I bump into it, but he pushed off, gave a little, bro, he put some elbow grease into it. He let some off. He put some muscle into it. Gave me a little bang. Gave me a little what for. And it surprised me and shocked me, and I kind of got my dukes up, and he got his dukes up, because let me explain this. If you go into a dorm in prison or county jail, there's always going to be people who don't like you. I mean, think about it. You go into a 200-man dorm, you're going to walk in, and right away there's going to be 5 people that look at you and say, I don't like that dude. I don't like the look of him. I don't like the sound of him. I don't like the way he moves. I don't like the way he looks. I don't like anything about the dude, and they will stare at you and mad dog you all the time. When I walk into a 200-man dorm, there's 5 or 6 people I see that I think, I don't like that fool. There's going to be some whites I don't like. There's going to be some Southsiders, some Norteños. There's going to be, homie, I don't discriminate. 1 of each race, 2 of each race, if not 3. Because there's going to be people I don't like just by looking at them, just by judging the book by its cover. And it's kind of crazy when you're in a 200-man dorm and there's 5 or 6 people you don't like. 5 or 6 people that don't like you, and you'll be just posted up, and all of a sudden you'll feel someone staring at you. You look back and be like, oh, there's that fool. He's mad dogging from across the freaking dorm. And you give him a look, and his eyebrow checking you, and you're like, yeah, what's up, fool? And then you look this way. Whoop, there's another dude. Oh, that dude too. I don't like that fool either. He don't like me. Shoot, what's up? Eyebrow check, look at him. And oh, there's someone else. There's like always someone looking at you that you don't like. You're always getting mad dog, but you're always mad dogging. And the dude who I bumped into his arm was this Asian Norteño that I could not stand. I didn't like anything about him. He didn't like anything about me. I would just be minding my business. I would be on my bunk reading a book. and I would feel someone staring at me at count time, and I would stop, and I would look, and 10 beds down that way, I would see that Asian Norteño like mad dogging me, bro, eyebrow checking me, just peeping game, dog, and I would just mad dog him back and be like, what's up? Dude was always mad dogging me, always giving me the stink eye. And then I go walking into that cutout room, run right into one of the security guards, keep him point for this dude, keeping security while he gets water. Ran into his arm. He gave me a what for. We kind of squared off because I was shocked. Like, what's up? And one of his little homies, like, one of the guys, the other security, like, broke it up. Because when I put my dukes up, the Asian Norteño put his dukes up too. And he said, you can't come in here. And I wish I said something real badass back. I wish I could tell you guys. And when he said, I can't come in here, I replied with, And I told him this, like a mic drop. I wish I could tell you I just served him up with homeboy my verbiage. But instead, I just said, why? And when I said why, I heard in my head, loud as hell, my homeboy Nick. Every time when I was doing time with him, I'm locked up with Nick. He's my dog, workout partner, pinochle partner. But he would get his clown on. Every time someone said to him, why? He would always say, 25th letter of the alphabet. In other words, don't ask questions, fool. So when they said, you can't come in here when we're in here. And I said, why? I heard Nick say, 25th letter of the alphabet. And then I just like, they didn't answer my why. I guess it was rhetorical. I just kind of gave a look to the ground, to the sky, and peace out. And just walked out there talking to myself. Just like when I talked in. But bro, after that, homeboy, I never left my guard down again. That was twice, talking and walking. Got an assault on the staff and bumped into a Norteño. Almost ended up into slinging him, homeboy. Could have turned into a melee hella quick. With that being said, I'm going to cut the string, let it fly. Peace.